Stop. Spinning. That. Quarter. Listen to me very carefully. You just flicked a 1991 P across the counter. Big mistake. That P from Philadelphia? 570 million made. But one with a doubled eyebrow on Washington? $1,200. True story. The 1993 D from Denver? They made enough to fill a stadium. But an MS-67 flawless, untouched, perfect? Only a handful exist. $415. For a quarter. And the 1996 D? The last eagle before the states ruined everything. Over 900 million buried in couch cushions. But a clipped planchet error. A crescent moon bite missing from the edge. $200. At auction. Last year. Here's what nobody tells you. None of these are silver. They're clad warriors, copper and nickel. But errors don't care about metal. Grease strikes. Rotated dies. Off-center ghosts. That's where the money sleeps. You want to check your pocket? Or keep scrolling like everybody else? This is Legacy Coins USA. We don't collect dust. We collect value. Subscribe. Because your next quarter could be your first fortune. Let's start for first Washington quarter. Let's cut through the legends and Hollywood hype first, because clarity is power. The coin you've described, inscribed with United States of America. E pluribus unum. In God we trust. Liberty. And quarter dollar featuring George Washington's profile is not a silver coin. It is not a state quarter. Those began in 1999. What you possess is a 1991 P Washington quarter, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the P Mint mark, and it is the workhorse of American commerce. A copper-nickel-clad coin designed for mass circulation. Its face value is just 25 cents, but its true worth lies in a hidden story of time, condition, and the fever dream of collecting. The eagle on its reverse isn't just decoration. It's a herald of America's post-war industrial might. To understand its soul, you must weigh its body, quite literally. This quarter weighs precisely 5.67 grams and measures 24.3 millimeters in diameter with a reeded edge. However, you must feel the weight of its history. Before 1965, quarters were forged from 90% silver, weighing 6.25 grams. But your 1991 P is a product of the clad era. It is composed of a pure copper core wrapped in an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel. There is no silver here. In 1965, the U.S. Mint killed the silver quarter forever to combat hoarding during a coin shortage, replacing soft precious metal with a durable, industrial-grade sandwich of alloys. That is the cold, hard reality of your coin's metal. Your coin is part of the Washington Quarter series, which ran from 1932 to 1998 in its original form. The series was not supposed to last. It was born as a one-year commemorative for the 200th birthday of George Washington. But the nation fell in love with John Flanagan design, a stoic portrait of the first president facing left, based on a bust by Jean-Antoine Houdon. They issued 570,968,000 of the 1991 P variety alone, flooding the nation. This specific coin lived through the post-Cold War economic boom of 1991. It was minted to buy gum, pay bus fare, and grease the wheels of daily life. The original Eagle Reverse died forever in 1998 when the U.S. Mint pulled the plug to launch the 50-state quarters program in 1999. Your coin represents the end of an era, the last years of the classic, unchanging quarter dollar. Here is the brutal truth about its value, and where the drama really sits. Because 570,968,000 were made, a circulated 1991, P is worth exactly $0.25 ***. Maybe $0.30 if you find a sucker. The melt value of its copper-nickel metal is a mere $0.054 ***, less than a nickel. But hold your breath. The upside of this graph is violent. If this coin is uncirculated, MS+, the price jumps to $15 or more. If it is graded MS66 by Peace GS or NGC, it becomes scarce and very tough to locate. Dealers might pay $115. And if you, by a stroke of godlike luck, have a perfect MS67 Plus example, that coin is a ghost. Experts say finding one might take over a year of searching. The downside is that 99.9% of these are pocket lint. The upside is numismatic nirvana. This is where your heart rate should spike. The real money in the 1991 P Washington quarter does not come from the coin. It comes from the mistake. Look for the Black Beauty annealing error, a planchet improperly heated during production, turning the metal a deep, metallic black. These sell for hundreds of dollars. Look for die attrition errors, where the die literally wore down and sliced through the letters of liberty in the northwestern sky. Look for double die obverse, DDO, where the letters and Washington's profile appear ghosted or doubled. If you see a crescent-shaped bite missing from the edge of the coin, that is a clipped planchet error. A $50 to $200 coin depending on the severity. One rotated die error can turn a 25-cent coin into a four-figure trophy. Check your Liberty and Washington's eye for doubling. Right now, in the United States, the demand for the 1991 P follows a specific manic pattern. The masses ignore it. They are chasing the shiny state quarters with Texas and California on the back. But the wolves of the hobby, the registry set collectors, are starving for your coin. Because collecting the Washington Quarter Basic Set, 1932 to 1998, requires the 1991 P. And while circulated ones are dirt cheap, the MS-66 and MS-67 grades are condition rarities, very tough to locate. PeaceGS estimates only 17 million of the original 570 million survive in MS-65 plus condition. The auction houses are starved for the high-grade flawless pieces. If your coin is flawless, you are holding a cool storm in a quiet sea. Let's be loud and professional at the same time. If your 1991 P Washington quarter is well-worn, smooth, and dark, spend it on a coffee. Value, $0.25. If it is bright, lustrous, and never been in a cash register asterisk, send it to PCGS or NGC for grading. Pay the $30 fee. Expected value, $15 to $50. If it is flawless, with no scratches and full mint luster, you are chasing the $115 to $200 tier. If it is a certified MS-67, you have a $2,000 coin that dealers will fight over at the Long Beach Expo. If it has a Black Beauty patina or a clear double die shadow, congratulations, you have stumbled into a $500 to $5,000 error market. The coin doesn't have to be old to be gold. It just has to be rare. Your 1991 P is a survivor. It was born when the Soviet Union was collapsing, when Nevermind by Nirvana was on the radio, and when the last of the great classic American Eagles was about to be retired. It carries the words E pluribus unum, out of many one, and in God we trust. It is a heavy, copper-nickel time capsule. While most will dismiss it as clad junk, the educated eye sees an entry point to the 20th century American dream. Its demand is stable, its upside is tied purely to condition and errors, and its history is as deep as the nation itself. Hold it to the light. Look for the doubling. Weigh it exactly. If it's heavy in silver, that is a ghost from 1964. But if it is 5.67 grams of clad alloy, you have a modern classic, nearly worthless, yet priceless in its story. Stay sharp. Stay heavy. Stack deep. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to my channel. Coin number 2. Let's cut through the myths first. The coin you have, a 1993 D Washington quarter, is not silver. I repeat, not silver. It was struck at the Denver Mint, the D Mint mark, with a massive mintage of 645,476,128 coins. This makes it the second most common 1993 quarter, and it is part of the Washington Quarter Series, 1932 to 1998. Your coin is a product of the clad era, the workhorse of American commerce, not a precious metal relic. The total number of 1,993 quarters minted across all facilities was 1,288,146,920, so yours is one among a billion siblings. To understand its soul, you must feel its weight. This quarter weighs precisely 5.67 grams and has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters with a reeded edge. The composition is an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel over a pure copper center. However, historically, quarters from 1932 to 1964 were 90% silver, weighing 6.25 grams. The switch to copper-nickel clad in 1965 ended the silver quarter forever to combat hoarding during a coin shortage. So if someone tries to sell you a silver 1993D, run the other way. Your coin story begins in 1932, when John Flanagan Design, based on a bust by sculptor Jean-Antoine Houdon, premiered on the quarter to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. What started as a one-year commemorative became a permanent series. Your 1993 D is part of the Type II clad era, 1965 to 1998. The original Eagle reverse design, unchanged since 1932, died forever in 1998. The following year, the U.S. Mint launched the 50-state quarters program in 1999, which completely overhauled the quarters design. This means your 1993 D represents one of the last years of the classic, unchanging quarter dollar. Here is the brutal truth. Because 645 million were made, a circulated 1993 D is worth exactly $0.25 ***. The melt value of its copper-nickel cladding is a mere $0.0582. But wait, the upside is dramatic. In uncirculated MS Plus condition, the value jumps to roughly $8.00 ***. But the real money lies in high-grade specimens. A coin graded MS 65 GMBU is worth $10. MS 66 fetches $20 ***. And MS 67? That's the holy grail. Values range from $4.15 to $1.750, depending on market conditions. According to PCGS, in MS 67 condition, this coin is very scarce, and despite its large mintage, very few examples have been found. One sold for $5.16 at Heritage Auctions on February 22, 2018. Now, this is where your heart rate should spike. The real gold in the 1993 D is errors. Look for doubled die obverse, DDO, and doubled die reverse, DDR, errors, where the lettering appears ghosted or doubled. These can command $50 to $1,450 plus. Keep an eye out for off-center strikes, $20 to $120 plus. Rotated die errors, $20 to $200 plus. Wrong planchet strikes, missing clad layers or brockages. If you see a crescent-shaped bite missing from the edge, that's a clipped planchet error, a $50 to $200 plus coin. One dramatic error can turn your 25-cent piece into a four-figure treasure. Examine your Liberty and Washington's eye meticulously under magnification. Right now, in the United States, the demand for the 1993 D is driven by registry set collectors, the wolves of the hobby. They are building complete Washington quarter basic sets, 1932 to 1998, and they need your coin. While circulated examples are common, MS66 and MS67 examples are condition rarities. The NGC price guide states that as of March 2026, a circulated 1993 D is worth between 30 cents and 85 cents, but pristine uncirculated specimens sell for as high as $415. According to PCGS, survival estimates indicate that of the millions minted, only 19,364,283 remain in MS65 or better condition. That's barely 3% of the original mintage. Let's examine the market fluctuations. A 1993 DMS 66 sold on Great Collections in April 2025 for $69.00 ***. Yet, the Heritage Auctions record for an MS 67 is $516.00 in 2018. Another auction saw an MS 67 fetch $408 *** in 2020. The NGC census reveals that only one coin has been graded MS 66 and two coins at MS 67 by NGC. This extreme scarcity at the highest levels creates a volatile market. The down is pocket change. The up is a four-figure event. The PCGS price guide lists an MS 67 at $2,666, while another source lists the high end at $1,750 for a top-tier MS 67. The key takeaway? Condition is everything. Your 1993 D is a survivor of the last decades of the original Washington quarter design, struck during the post-Cold War economic boom of 1993. It carries the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and E Pluribus Unum, out of many one. While most will dismiss it as clad junk, the educated eye sees an entry point to 20th century American history. Its value hinges entirely on condition and errors, and the high-grade pieces are surprisingly rare. Hold it to the light, weigh it, and magnify every detail. If it's heavy in silver, that's a ghost from 1964. But if it is 5.67 grams of clad alloy, you have a modern classic, nearly worthless in pocket change, yet potentially priceless in its story. Coin number 3. Hear me, coin hunters and silver dreamers. Let's destroy the biggest myth right now. The coin you hold, a 1996 D Washington quarter, is not silver. Strike that delusion from your mind. This quarter, branded with the D of the Denver Mint, was born from a staggering mintage of 906,868,000 examples, making it as common as gravel on a highway. It weighs precisely 5.67 grams, not the 6.25 grams of its 90% silver ancestors, 1932 to 1964. Your coin is a product of the clad era, a copper-nickel warrior composed of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel wrapped around a pure copper center. The only silver quarter from 1996 is the 1996 silver proof, struck in San Francisco for collectors, a separate, rarer beast entirely. So feel the weight of your 1996 D, 5.67 grams of clad metal, and accept its true industrial spirit. But your coin is not without a soul, far from it. The 1996 D Washington quarter is a majestic relic from the twilight years of the original Washington quarter series, which ran from 1932 to 1998. Designed by John Flanagan, this series endured through the Great Depression, World War II, and the fall of the Berlin Wall. Your 1996 D was struck during the vibrant, digital dawn of the mid-1990s, a time before smartphones dominated our lives. It features the stoic, left-facing profile of George Washington on the obverse and the iconic heraldic eagle on the reverse, surrounded by the nation's motto, E Pluribus Unum. This classic design, which had remained largely unchanged since 1932, met its dramatic end in 1998. The very next year, in 1999, the U.S. Mint slaughtered the classic Eagle Reverse to launch the 50-state quarters program. Your 1996 D is one of the last soldiers of a bygone numismatic order. Let's talk about the cold, hard cash, the brutal truth of the market. Because 906 million of these coins were struck, a worn, circulated 1996, D is worth exactly 25 cents. It has a melt value of a paltry $0.0572. That is the bottom of the abyss. However, the upside of the value graph can be explosive. An uncirculated, MS Plus, condition coin can fetch $12 or more. The real drama, the thunderous leap, begins at MS 66 and MS 67 grades. A PCGS MS 66 has sold for around $35**. But a PCGS MS 67? That is a coin of legend. On April 27, 2025, a 1996 D PCGS MS 67 sold for a staggering $4.47. Another source shows the NGC Auction Central average for an MS 68 at $213.70. This is not pocket change. This is a 1,788x return on face value. The market whispers for common coins, but it roars for flawless specimens. Now this is where you must hold your breath and look closer. The real fortune in the 1996 D is not in the metal, but in the mistakes, the errors. The universe of error coins is vast and dramatic. Seek the doubled die varieties, where the lettering or design appears ghosted or doubled. Hunt for broad-struck errors, where the coin was struck without the retaining collar, resulting in a larger, distorted, and often rimless disc. The most dramatic of pocket change treasures is the clipped planchet error, a coin with a distinctive crescent-shaped bite missing from its edge, caused by an improperly fed metal blank. A 75% clipped planchet Washington quarter can be worth over $200**. Even a 5% clip can add $5 to its value. Search for off-metal strikes. A 1996 quarter stamped on a dime or nickel planchet is a multi-$1,000 anomaly. But the errors do not stop there. The 1996 D has its own sinister and shadowy catalog of manufacturing ghosts. Picture this. A pool of thick, viscous grease clogs the fine details of the reverse die. As the coin is struck, the metal cannot flow into the recesses, creating a strike-through grease error that makes parts of the eagle or lettering appear faded, smooth, or entirely missing. Or feel the coin's edge. A perfectly reeded edge is standard, but a partial collar strike will show a smooth, flat spot on the rim where the collar failed to grip. Some collectors have reported 1996 D. Proof-like mint-set coins with a mirror-like finish, often struck on specially burnished planchets, which can erroneously be mistaken for circulation strikes, creating a hidden premium for the sharp-eyed. And then, there is the mysterious incomplete punch error, a rare diagnostic mark left by a malfunctioning blanking press, documented by error-ref.com on a 1996 D quarter. Each of these strike-through, misaligned die, or incomplete punch errors can turn your pocket change into a three-figure conversation piece overnight. But where is the demand for this 1996 D? Who is buying and why? The United States market is not driven by clueless masses. It is powered by the registry set collectors, the elite numismatic wolves. These collectors are building complete Washington quarter basic sets, 1932 to 1998, and they require every single date and mint mark. Their hunger is insatiable for high-grade MS 66 and MS 67 coins. According to PCGS, the 1996 D is very common in lower grades, but in higher mint state condition, it becomes a surprising challenge. This scarcity at the top tier is what fuels the market's explosive ups. The PCGS price guide values in 1996 D at approximately $22.00 converted. But as we've seen, auction prices can sever that estimate completely. While the downside is an abyss of 25-cent face value, the upside is a dream of $400 plus. This is the volatile, thrilling heart of coin collecting. Now, let's inject the adrenaline of historical context into your veins. Your 1996 D is not just a coin. It is a gleaming time capsule from a world on the edge of transformation. It was minted the year Bill Clinton was re-elected president, the same year Tupac Shakur was tragically killed in Las Vegas, and the year that Independence Day topped the box office. It was the year Dolly the sheep was born, the first ever cloned mammal, sparking global debates on science and ethics. It was a year of economic boom, when the internet was still a nascent, screeching dial-up novelty. Your coin passed through millions of hands during a uniquely optimistic pre-9/11 pre-social media world. It is a literal, tangible piece of the mid-90s American zeitgeist. Every scratch and mark on its copper-nickel surface is a scar from that tumultuous, culture-shifting era. Let's examine the physical battlefield, the specifications. This is a coin of war and commerce. Its 24.30 millimeters diameter and reeded edge were designed in 1932 to prevent counterfeiting by stopping the shaving of precious metals, back when the coin was silver. Weighing in at 5.67 grams and composed of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, it has no silver content, but it is a masterwork of modern industrial design. So, what is the final, professional, no-nonsense verdict on your 1996 D Washington quarter? If your coin is a gray, worn, and scratched veteran of circulation, spend it on a soda. Its value is $0.25. If it is bright, lustrous, and sharp, appearing fresh from the mint, you are stepping into the $10 to $20 range. If it is flawless, with no blemishes and full mint luster, and you get it certified by PCGS or NGC, costing $18-$30, you are a contender for the $50 to $150 tier. But if that certification comes back as MS 67 or MS 68, you are holding a $400 plus trophy that dealers will actively pursue at major coin expositions. And if you discover a clipped planchet, off-metal strike, or strike-through error, all bets are off. You have entered the $200 to $2,000 plus error market. The coin does not need to be 100 years old to be gold. It just needs to be rare, pristine, or beautifully broken. Hold it to the light one last time. Tilt it. See the eagle's wings. Feel the weight of 5.67 grams of American history. This 1996 D is a silent warrior, over 900 million strong, yet each one a unique universe of wear, luster, and potential. While the world dismisses it as clad junk or pocket lint, you now possess the prophetic knowledge that a perfect example or a dramatic error is a modern treasure. It carries the words "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" across its face, a promise from a decade of rapid change. Stack your knowledge deep, and may your magnifying glass always find the doubled die. This is your coin. This is its story. Stay sharp. Thanks, and don't forget that subscribe to our channel Legacy Coins USA.